We live in an age of planned obsolescence. Our roads crack in 5 years. Our bridges need major overhauls in 50. Our modern marine structures, built with the best Portland cement science can offer, begin to crumble the moment they are exposed to the salt of the sea. But across the Mediterranean, there is a forensic anomaly that defies everything we know about material science. 2,000 years ago, Roman engineers built massive breakwaters, piers, and harbors directly into the crashing surf. Today, those structures are not just standing, they are often stronger than the day they were poured. While modern concrete is a victim of the environment, Roman concrete seems to thrive in it. For centuries, this was dismissed as a lost secret of the gods or a lucky choice of volcanic ash. But today, we are unboxing the chemical blueprint of the eternal city, and what we found isn't just a better recipe, it's a self-healing technology that we are only now beginning to understand. If you look at a cross-section of Roman concrete under a scanning electron microscope, you'll notice something strange. Tiny, white, millimeter-scale chunks of minerals scattered throughout the gray mortar. For decades, archaeologists and engineers looked at these white lumps and called them sloppy mixing. They assumed the Roman workers were just lazy, failing to incorporate the lime properly into the volcanic ash. But a forensic investigation, led by researchers at MIT, has turned that theory on its head. These aren't mistakes, they are lime clasts, and they are the hardware that powers the Roman self-healing system. The Romans didn't just mix lime with water to create a paste, as we do today. They used a process called hot mixing. By adding dry quicklime, calcium oxide, directly to the volcanic ash and water, they triggered an exothermic reaction. The mixture reached extreme temperatures, sometimes boiling, creating a chemically reactive environment that modern concrete never experiences. This high-temperature cooking allowed the lime clasts to form a brittle, fragile structure that was ready to react the moment the concrete was damaged. This is where the Mindcrate logic of the Romans becomes clear. Think of a modern concrete wall as a rigid shell. When it cracks, water gets in, hits the steel rebar inside, and causes it to rust and expand, eventually exploding the concrete from within. In a Roman wall, the crack is the trigger for repair. When seawater or rainwater infiltrates a Roman structure, it travels through the crack until it hits one of those white lime clasts. The water dissolves the calcium-rich clast, creating a saturated solution. This solution then recrystallizes, filling the crack with a mineral called calcite, or, in marine environments, a rare mineral called Al-tobermorite. The concrete isn't just fixing itself, it is literally welding the crack shut with stone. This is autogenous healing. The environment that destroys modern buildings is the very thing that keeps Roman buildings alive. The Mediterranean Sea wasn't an enemy to the Roman harbor, it was the fuel for its maintenance. But the lime is only half the story. The other half is the pozzolana, the volcanic ash from regions like Pozzuoli. The Romans discovered that this ash contained a specific type of silica and alumina that reacted with the lime in a way that modern sands simply cannot. When mixed, it created a pozzolanic reaction, forming a dense microscopic mesh of crystals. This mesh is what gives the concrete its initial strength, but more importantly, it creates a breathable structure. Unlike modern Portland cement, which is incredibly dense and brittle, Roman concrete allows for a microscopic level of movement. This flexibility is why the Pantheon in Rome, the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, has stood for nearly 2,000 years without a single steel support. It is a 4,500-ton masterclass in gravity and chemistry. The Romans understood that if you build something too rigid, the earth will eventually break it. But if you build something that can absorb stress and repair its own wounds, you build for eternity. We find the clues for this engineering in the writings of Vitruvius, the Roman architect who documented these techniques in the 1st century BC. He wrote about a specific type of sand that, when mixed with lime and rubble, made buildings so strong that neither the waves of the sea nor the force of the wind could dissolve them. Vitruvius wasn't just writing a cookbook, he was describing a forensic standard. The Romans practiced strict quality control. They used tufa, a type of volcanic rock, as the aggregate, and they layered the concrete by hand, tamping it down to remove air pockets. This manual labor created a stratified strength. Every layer was a deliberate act of engineering. They weren't just pouring liquid into a mold, they were building a synthetic rock, layer by layer, mimicking the natural geological processes of the Earth. Why does this matter to us in 2026? Because concrete production is one of the leading causes of carbon emissions on the planet. Portland cement requires massive amounts of energy to produce, and because our structures fail so quickly, we are constantly tearing them down and rebuilding them in a cycle of waste. By unboxing the Roman blueprint, we aren't just looking at history, we are looking at the future of sustainable construction. If we can master hot mixing and self-healing clasts, we can build infrastructure that lasts for centuries instead of decades. We can stop fighting the environment and start using it to maintain our cities. Imagine a bridge that repairs its own cracks after a winter freeze. Imagine a seawall that gets stronger the more the tides hit it. This isn't science fiction, it was standard operating procedure for a Roman engineer 2 millennia ago. The Roman Empire didn't just leave us statues and poems, they left us a challenge. They proved that human ingenuity, when aligned with the natural chemistry of the earth, can create something that outlasts empires. The white spots in that ancient gray stone aren't mistakes. They are a message from the past, a reminder that sometimes the most advanced technology is the one we've forgotten. As we continue to scan the ruins and unbox the blueprints of the ancient world, we realize that the eternal city wasn't built on luck. It was built on a machine of lime, ash, and water. This is the chemistry of resilience. This is the Mindcrate Hub,